Welcome to our Stubble & Co. wheeled duffel review. In this video, I'm gonna take my experience of reviewing 600 plus of the world's best bags, and we're gonna tear this thing apart. We're gonna pack the bag out, we're gonna double check its advertised capacity, and I'm gonna give you my brutally honest pros and cons so you can know if this bag is worth it or if it's a ripoff. And you're gonna wanna stick around to the end of the video, because if you're not quite feeling the Stubble & Co. wheeled duffel, but you think that we're close, then I'll make a few alternative bag suggestions for some other wheeled suitcase, backpack hybrids that might better suit your needs. First up, let's talk about the gist of the Stubble & Co. wheeled duffel 40 liter. Stubble & Co. is a really interesting brand. They're from the UK, and we've reviewed a lot of their stuff, and they've done some bags that I don't like, and some bags that I really do like. Where would this one be in the spectrum? We will soon find out. And as the name suggests, it's a wheeled bag, not that innovative, but it's also sort of a duffel bag, and that's where this bag gets interesting, because I've never quite seen a duffel mixed with a roller before quite like this. Let me run you through some of the suitcase's top features. We've got this duffel-style clamshell opening with a compression strap and a bit of internal organization. Materials and fabrics that are extremely weather resistant. We've got some pretty strong side handles and a top handle as well. Quick access zippered top pocket and a quick access pocket here as well, which conceals possibly the most interesting aspect of the wheeled duffel, which are these guys right here, removable backpack straps. So it's actually the wheeled duffel pack. And we're gonna talk about these a bit more in detail 2 chapters from now. Now the wheeled duffel is advertised at 40 liters capacity. There's an 80 liter version as well that we do not have. Let's go ahead and double check that. As you can see, we got the main compartment fully packed out with our factory grade measuring balls. Quick dimensions check. We got a width of around 15.5 inches, a height of around 20 inches, and a fully packed out depth of around 9 inches. This is definitely not a personal item, it's a carry-on, and it should fit the carry-on restrictions for most European and UK flights. Now, there's a lot more room in there. All right, let's test this volume now. All right, we're at 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 liters, and I'll be honest, there's probably enough space in that main compartment for another 5 liters of balls. It was kind of difficult to properly fill out. So I think that if you include the outer pockets, you're in that 35 to 40 liter range, but I'd say it's probably closer to the 35 liter capacity mark, give or take. Stubble & Co. claims this bag weighs 2.9 kilos, which I'm getting on the dot on scale number 1. Same thing on scale number 2. As of recording, the wheeled duffel only comes in 1 color option. All Stubble & Co. products are protected by their 2-year warranty against manufacturing defects. And for all that, this bag runs around $345 USD. Now we're gonna use that price point as our North Star moving forward, right? That gives us like context if it's overpriced or underpriced or perfectly priced. But it should be noted that if any point during this review you're really digging this bag and you like the price point and the feature set and you're thinking about making a purchase, we highly suggest making that purchase with the first link in the description below. Reason being, that link makes sure that you get the best price, and we oftentimes have discount codes. But that link also helps support the Nomads Nation YouTube channel and team so we can keep making the best bag reviews on the web. Thank you very much. All right, let's talk about the outside of the Stubble & Co. wheeled duffel. We got a lot of fabrics on this bag. Is it a bag? I keep saying bag. It doesn't feel like a bag. It's a suitcase. It's a bag case. But a lot of these fabrics are gonna be kind of like rubbery and plasticky, and because of that, extremely weather resistant. But also keep in mind that fabrics like this, they can peel over time because that rubberiness is actually plastic, and plastic when exposed to sunlight can end up looking like this over time. Never a guarantee, but something to be aware of. But that's the bad side. The good side is just how anti-rain this is going to be. Like if you get caught in a rainstorm, it's just gonna roll right off this bag. Front pocket is quick access. Now, one thing I don't love about Stubble & Co. is that they don't use high quality zippers like YKK or Ultra or SBS. They use coats, which I've never heard of before in my life. Now, I actually reached out to Stubble & Co. about this to kind of just get a bit more information. And they said it's because they had too many zipper failures with YKK. Coat zips were tested rigorously and have seen the knockoff effect with significantly reduced defects. So not 100% sure what that means. And I've reviewed 700 bags. I have my own bag brand too. I'm in factories in Vietnam. I'm constantly in discussions with people who are in this niche, and YKK is just considered the cream of the crop. And like I said, I've never heard of Coats. That also could be my ignorance. Maybe Coats is the cream of the crop as well, but they don't feel great. I don't love the feel of these zippers, especially with the PU coating. They're really sticky. And with a 2-year warranty, zippers are one of the first things to go on a bag. So definitely not one of my favorite parts about this bag or really any Stubble & Co bags. Top pocket, quick access, and it runs all the way down to the bottom of the bag. This could be a good spot for your hoodie, and I'm actually getting a little toasty right now. These lights are hot, I'm telling you. So let's showcase the volume of the bag so I can take off my bomber jacket. And you can see this compartment has some volume to it. So this is a thick jacket and it fits in there nicely. This is also a location where you can put the backpack straps, which we'll talk about in just a few minutes. These handles are phenomenal. They're so reinforced. Look at all this reinforced stitching on either side, bar tack stitching. There's no padding, so it doesn't feel like a very comfortable experience, but plenty of room to grab. It's not something that you're gonna be carrying a suitcase like this for long periods of time, right? It's just to kind of grab the bag and put it overhead and kind of do one of these and swing it around. It's a point of leverage. And I think for being a point of leverage, they work very well. We've got lash points along the handles as well, so you can clip things on externally to the bag. And another top quick access pocket here. And this is just interesting because I do want to give Stubble & Co props for being innovative. Like, this is sort of like a backpack, duffel, suitcase combination that I haven't quite seen done this way. And it's gonna give you a lot of pros and cons. I wanna be very clear that I do think that this is a suitcase, is a very, very distant number one. And it's not really a duffel, it's just a suitcase that they call a duffel. I mean, it has the duffel-style opening, I'll give them that. But keep in mind that it's a suitcase first and a backpack as a distant second. But with that like duffel sort of design philosophy, you got a lot of quick access here, like this pocket, that you wouldn't normally have on a suitcase. This pocket's big. You can fit a freaking small tech pouch in there. Absolutely. There's a lot that you can do with this pocket as well. But let's talk about this bag in suitcase mode because it is a suitcase. And it's a 2-wheeler, which is going to not be everyone's cup of tea. Pros and cons on either side of the luggage wheel spectrum. 2-wheelers, more durable, 2 less wheels that could break versus a 4-wheeler. And then with 2-wheelers, these wheels are always just bulkier and bigger. Like, these are heavy duty wheels that'll really take cobbled streets and like rocks and stuff a lot better than the daintier wheels that are used on a 4-wheeled typical luggage. But the 4-wheeler luggage, always smoother. The 2-wheeler is kind of like the annoyed child that you have to drag behind you. But the 4-wheeler, it's just like gliding, like skating on ice. But again, it can open itself up to more potential breakage and it's a little less durable. Look at pilots. If you ever watch a pilot in an airport, they're always traveling with a 2-wheeler, a small one. But yeah, I'd like to hear your thoughts. Like, where are you on the 2-wheeler versus the 4-wheeler conversation? For me, I still prefer a 4, definitely, especially if it's got some name brand wheels on it, like a Hinomoto or something. But 2-wheelers can slap too. These plastic landing pads allow you to just flip the suitcase over and not have to worry about scratching the primary fabric. We've got another landing pad at the bottom of the suitcase, which also acts as a handle, yet again giving you more leverage points. And most importantly, allowing the suitcase to stand upright pretty well, pretty darn well actually. Last up is the handle. Nothing super innovative here. You know, you're gonna get the typical jiggle that you would on any handle. It's fine. This handle is just, it's middle of the road. It's exactly where you'd expect it to be at the price point. You've got 1, 2, 3 different stopping points. The handle itself feels nice. It's got a nice design. Overall, no complaints there. I was dragging this thing behind me for, a little bit outside as we were doing some shooting. Everything feels well constructed. It's not something that you'll know for sure unless you do years of traveling with the actual bag. But having tested dozens of suitcases here on this channel, I think that it feels like it's very well put together. Now, real fast, before we jump into the next section, I gotta let you know that if you're really into traveling and travel gear, bags, suitcases, duffels, packing cubes, slings, you name it, we review it here on Nomads Nation. But we don't just review this gear on our YouTube channel, but we also have the Nomads Nation newsletter. And in that newsletter, you can look at me like your reporter in the field for what's happening in the world of gear, carry, EDC, travel, just like that middle ground between all these awesome niches. So if you want to keep your finger on the pulse of what's happening in this incredible community, I'm talking about limited edition drops, the newest collabs, industry trends, access to our discount codes from the smallest brands to the biggest brands. We do it all. I'm really proud of the newsletter. It's going to be delivered to your inbox once a week, and if you want to sign up, you can do so with this globe emoji in the description below. Hope to see you in your inbox. All right, let's talk about the inside of the Stubble & Co. wheel duffel. Really just talking about this main compartment, and then we'll test the comfort. As I showed you earlier, we got the duffel-style opening. We've got a Darlington mesh pocket here, one zippered here, and a compression strap, and that's about it. Now, I hate the lining in this bag. It's black, and it's just a dark black hole because of it. But Stubble & Co., I don't know, they have this orange lining in the pockets, and I feel like they just could have used this all in the main compartment and just given it a bit more functionality, made it brighter, easier to see what you put where. Not a big fan of this black hole situation going on. But I am a fan of the space this bag gives you. You can see, got my packing cube, number 1, number 2, and number 3. These fit absolutely perfectly in the bag, but you've got a little extra depth as well. So you can throw your shoes on top. DOP kit. At 40 liters, you know, you're not gonna be able to fit everything plus the kitchen sink in there, but for a 1-week trip, no problemo. Zip it on shut. Yeah, actually, very nice fit. But now let's talk about the star of the show. The thing that I think is most interesting about this duffel are the backpack shoulder straps, which to connect them, you clip them onto the buckles at the bottom and the buckles at the top. Putting them on, very easy. Taking them off, not easy, but not hard. And I just want to emphasize like what this is, because I like that they're easy to put on and harder to take off, because I'd rather them be easier to put on because it emphasizes on the design of what this is. It's a suitcase, dudes. It just is. It's not a backpack. You do not want this stiffness and bulk and wheels and plastic on a backpack. You want that on your suitcase. But what is nice is to be able to really quickly clip on some shoulder straps to your suitcase when you need it. And that's what this is a backpack in desperate situations when you need it. Now keep in mind, when it is desperate, you're gonna look weird. Like this is not, I don't feel like I'm gonna win any fashion competitions anytime soon with this gargantuan block on my back. But maybe I'm in some rough terrain, or maybe we have to climb up a mountain, or maybe, I don't know, maybe the wheel breaks, right? Unlikely, but could happen. And that's just when this is nice, when you just can say, oh, that's right, I don't have to freak out. Like I can strap 2 shoulder straps on and wear it in backpack mode. And here's what I think is quite interesting actually. It's kind of comfy, depending on what you put in the main compartment. So right now, you saw how I packed this thing out. It's all packing cubes and then a big thick jacket right here against my back. And that's providing a very cushiony sort of experience. Now, if I load this up with DSLR gear and a drone and you know, like a hammer and a screwdriver, might be a little less comfortable. But it's interesting because most suitcase backpack combos are typically connecting the shoulder straps to the back. And that sucks because you just got this against your back and it just feels like there's like a metal sheet there. So I actually think that this implementation is interesting because it can be more comfortable depending on what's packed out there. And I just think actually this is kind of cool. Keep in mind guys, it's a freaking suitcase, but the shoulder strap situation is pretty cool for comfort, not for style. Shoulder straps themselves are well padded, decent amount of width. You got the sternum strap to help with extra comfort. But again, like if you put your iPad and over-the-ear headphones in this section, you're gonna have a bad time. All right, moving on, let's talk about the overall pros and the cons of the Stubble & Co. wheel duffel. Pro number 1, highly weather resistant. Pro number 2, I really did enjoy that wide mouth duffel style opening to the main compartment. And pro number 3, versatility. It's a suitcase and a backpack. But on the flip side, let's take that pro and also flip it over because it's a con as well. Because some people might be like, oh my God, it's a perfect backpack and a perfect suitcase. It's not. Backpack mode is, you know, it's for desperate times. Con number 2 is just gonna be how dark and how much of a black hole the main compartment was. And con number 3, although I could be wrong, having been in this industry for a long time, the choice of coats, zippers, whatever those are, over a more name brand, especially with only a 2-year warranty, not my favorite. But there's a good chance that if you're still here watching this, that the cons mean nothing to you. You're loving this bag, it's checking all your boxes, and if that's the case and you're gonna make a purchase, we just wanna remind you again, we recommend doing so with the first link in the description, just because that link makes sure that you get the best price, and if we have any discount codes, that's what it'll be. But if you're not quite sold on the Stubble & Co., let's talk about some alternative recommendations. First of all, if you're new to the Nomads Nation channel, you should definitely check out our leaderboard rankings video. This is where myself and the Nomads Nation team, we get together and we pick our favorite bags in different bag categories. We do not talk about suitcases in this video, as of the most recently recorded version, but we do talk about every other bag category. So if you just want to get an idea of what's out there, I've gone ahead and linked that above. But if we're pretty close with the Stubble & Co., here's two alternatives that might push you a little closer. First up is gonna be the Bagsmart Blast Roller Backpack. Great pick for you if you're looking for that backpack suitcase fusion, but you're not willing to drop 350 USD. Bagsmart makes great gear. It's not gonna be as high quality as Stubble & Co., but at the price point, we found them to be pretty good, actually really great. And I do think the Blast Roller Backpack has a lot of really interesting features, and it's a good take. Honestly, it's a really good bag for the price point. And my second alternative will be the Bellroy Light Carry-On. Great pick for you if you came into this review thinking to yourself that you wanted a backpack suitcase fusion, but then you realized, because it'll never be quite what you thought it was going to be. It works, but not exceptionally well. You get the gist. So the Bellroy is a great pick for you if you're looking for a great two-wheeled light carry-on. It's got a killer look to it. The lightweight build makes it really easy to just kind of navigate around airports with. Comes in some color options and a cheaper price point. Honestly, all three suitcases are great. They just got their own pros and cons, and you got to figure out which pros and cons combo works best for you. But to learn more about the two alternatives, just go ahead and watch these videos right here. If you got any questions, be sure to let me know in the comments below or in the Nomads Nation subreddit. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Aaron. This is Nomads Nation, and we'll catch you next time.